ain't so, Mikey. Say it ain't so.
That's right, boys and girls. This is OCCW, and this is the Royal Ramble with Joey the Bull, Jonathan Malice, and our tag team champions of the world, Thunder and Lightning.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, and welcome to another episode of the Royal Ramble. Orange
Say it ain't so, John. Say it ain't so.
You're going to pick on a 9-year-old kid.
Are you going to throw your jersey at him? Say it ain't so, mean Joe.
I just might. Hey, kid.
Hey, kid. Wash my drawers.
Welcome to the Royal Ramble, Orange County Championship Wrestling's flagship show on its flagship station, the Free Admission Channel. Hope you're all doing well tonight, and we're going to start things off with a new segment. We're going to call it our correspondence segment, right? For those of us who do not have a lot of...
I'm resting my eyes. Continue.
He's channeling the dark side.
Keep going.
Doing
yeah, you're
weird.
getting shiny on us, huh?
Keep going. Don't be distracted.
Some of us do not have the time or the proclivity to watch a lot of WWE or the national networks wrestling programs, right? If you know what, I did some math the other day with all the programs that are on, like broadcast or cable. There is 36 hours of wrestling that you can watch in a week. 36 hours. Now that's a lot if you think about it. It goes from AEW, NXT, WWE, SmackDown, and Raw. There's the NWA Power.
NXT.
There's I said NXT. What's the other one? TNA.
Yep.
And even Ring of Honor. So I don't know if Ring of Honor is still out
I think Glow was on
I think
TV back on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah. So
Apartment House Wrestling.
Wow, wrestling.
apartment wrestling? No, there's no apartment wrestling on regular broadcast yet.
Oh,
Not yet.
broadcast TV. I'm
Right.
sorry.
And then if you want to get a little crazy, you can go watch some AAA. Lucha Libre.
Yeah, there's AAA and CMLL. That it's all over. Major League Wrestling is still a thing.
Yeah.
And so there you go. There you have it. So in order to deal with said logjam and want for time, we have a new correspondent. Please, ladies and gentlemen, on his 21st birthday, no less, please welcome Mr. Jack David Bruce. Come on. Yay. Happy birthday, Jack
Just
David Bruce.
turned 21 here, not at a strip club.
Let's see, sir.
Wow.
Grab that chair right there, and you can sit next to Azrael. Because it doesn't seem like he's awake. So
Look like you're both related too. Is that like a?
I got stuck in your chair.
The table.
All right.
like twins.
Scoot
over
in
there.
a little bit there, Jack. There you go. Just lean. You just lean a little bit. There you go. There you go.
Okay.
All right. So, like I said before, our national correspondent, Mr. Davidson, is going to fill us in on all the happenings, and we're going to get your guys' opinion on said updates. So, go ahead and start there, Jack.
I have 3 main stories prepared for today. The first we're going to talk about is Sin Cara, or
All right. All right. Go ahead.
Sin Cara, or known in real life as Jorge Arias.
Oh no, the magic's been ruined for me.
I'm sorry.
God, you have a picture of his
And-
face, too?
I mean, I might.
If you,
Social security
if you really
number?
want to see his face, go rewind back a few years. He was
Recently, as of yesterday, it is alleged that he asked for his release from his WWE contract.
oh, he got tired of
He
jobbing.
claims that he felt stuck and undervalued, and that's pretty interesting considering that he was recently denied. I guess WWE doesn't want him to go to the competition.
So they denied him his release?
It ain't
Yes,
so.
allegedly. Yes.
Okay.
And this is interesting considering that recently Mike Kanellis has also asked for his release.
Who's Mike Kanellis?
Mike Kanellis, he is Maria Kanellis' husband, and that's best to describe it because he was recently in a storyline where he's basically, can I curse? Or
Okay,
say
hold on one second. What do you think of that?
Well, my biggest thing is people need to realize mid-card is there for a reason. I mean, if you really had a wrestling show where every guy was supposed to be a top-tier main eventer, you wouldn't have enough time on the television show to get everybody the exposure that they need. You have to have somebody there to take the whipping.
Yeah, you have to have a Gunther. Everybody can't be Ross or Rachel. You need a
Exactly.
Gunther. You need a...
You go to Friends. That's
Thank you.
Not
Thank
everybody
you.
can be Thunder and Lightning. Every now and then you gotta have a La
You gotta
Raza.
have
Like,
the Ross on to like fill out the middle.
Or Luther.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
let's
Luther's
be
a
real.
referee.
You gotta put his Grima in there once in a while.
Once
Make
in a
everybody
while,
else
you know?
look like they're spectacular. The Olympics, every event should have one regular person doing it just for the contrast. I want to see you run 100-yard
Right.
dash.
Let's see how you
That
compare to
piece of
Usain
trash.
Bolt.
Let's get back to
Yeah.
our correspondent.
Yes, let's get back. Okay, so
yeah.
go on.
So basically, Mike Kanellis, his recent storyline, he basically was a cuck, basically. Because,
what?
Like, it's another
cuck.
Google
What's
it.
a
Anyways,
cuck?
so basically,
hold on.
Wait, hold on. You like watching dudes bang your wife?
Oh, okay.
I mean, hey.
So basically,
Oh,
so Maria
I'm
on
gonna get all amped up about
yeah,
stuff like
so
that.
Maria
Okay,
on air was
okay.
basically treating him like like shit.
She got
and,
pregnant
you know,
by
like,
somebody, right? Was
he
she
was
pregnant or
basically he's not happy, you know.
But
being
that's
treated that way.
storyline.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And like he asked for his release in real life, and he'd rather go back to the independents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what WWE is doing right now is they're freezing all contracts. So even if you request a release, no matter how low on the totem pole you are, they would rather keep you unhappy than let you go to the company.
Like Luke Harper wanted out, and they threw 5 more years on him. They're like, "Screw you, Luke Harper! You ain't going nowhere, you talented son of a bitch. You're gonna be right here till you die."
Interesting,
Man,
interesting.
you
So
touch
now,
on my belt like this, boy.
So,
You never won no match.
okay, all right. Take it
I'm not gonna
easy.
just cuckold my belt like that. I ain't no Mike Kanellis. Stroking a man's belly might be stroking a man's woman.
All right, all right.
Don't ever do an angle with your wife. There's a Macho Man quote that's very famous. He's like, "Brother, I did an angle with my wife, and I ain't got a wife no more, brother."
Yeah.
Perfect example. Lana and Rusev right now. Rusev goes and runs his mouth online, and what do they say next? Your wife is cheating on you with the biggest
Right?
blackest
The
guy we
biggest
could
black-
find.
funny story. That's actually my next point.
Awesome.
So recently, fans have been tweeting out at Rusev about this storyline, and for good reason. It's
It's terrible.
it's pretty thrown together, if you ask me. Basically, Rusev's wife Lana is cheating on him on air with Bobby Lashley, and basically, it feels very thrown together, and fans are tweeting at Rusev. Rusev's tweeting back that he's happy with the company and whatnot, and then
better be now.
recently Jake Hager told Rusev basically leave her and come to AEW in a tweet that was released.
Right. Which I think when you see guys that have all the ability to be a top tier guy, of course you're going to try and recruit. That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you keep recruiting and keep recruiting. But actually start writing better storylines for these guys when they come to you. You know, like, stop worrying about recruiting and get your product right so that guys will just want to go instead of being pulled like D6.
I like that Rusev.
Okay.
I like that Rusev. I was their goddamn champion, man. F you, clown. I was the standard bearer for like 6 weeks.
I'm sorry.
And if I had a goddamn bus pass, I still would be. You son of a bitch.
I have no problem with those people. They've
you,
all
sir.
been very
What you
nice,
mean by those?
except for that chewed up piece of bubble gum they got wearing the belts right now. The rest of those guys, cool. I wish
Joe
them all the
Gonzalez,
best.
we love you, Joe Gonzalez.
I love
Yeah, he's a cool
Impact.
guy. Joe Gonzalez is a cool
CC
guy.
Impact,
She was very nice to me when I finally met her.
Runs a phenomenal house.
Yeah.
I
A little
love it.
fuzzy wuzzy, a little different story.
I don't know who's Fuzzy Wuzzy. Fuck that guy.
I mean,
All right.
Rusev better be happy with the company on Twitter, or Lashley's gonna be putting it to him next in like the shower. That's how he got into this mess. Rusev something. He likes AEW. Oh, maybe I'm thinking about treading the waters there. And then next week they're like, "Hey, your wife's with the big black fella. You piece of shit. Take that." You know.
All right.
And
Machka.
it was also announced today that AEW is going to be releasing a new video game paired with Yuke's Entertainment.
Okay.
It's going to be rated T for teen. A release date is not announced yet, but the roster basically is consisting of Adam Page, Chris Jericho, and
Well, that
so
will
on
be
and so
interesting.
forth.
So that you'll have a video game that doesn't have any it's everything's a cheat code.
I mean, I just don't like it because of the fact that, yeah, we know you're wrestlers, but nobody other than the main, 5 guys, like he even named off 2 of the main 5 guys, are really going to be anybody that the fans give a damn about to play with. You know, let your roster build. Do something. Be here for at least, I would say a year. Hold down the fort for a year doing a weekly show. Then release a video game that people will actually give a damn about.
Not going to happen. They're not going to be here in this capacity in a year.
I think the WWE 2K game is so glitchy. It's horrendously glitchy. If you've seen any of the stories about that, of like the characters bouncing around. And wrestling games notoriously have this problem. The collision detection is terrible in a free-based fucking game like this.
Right.
You're the models for everybody are way off. What is it? The Rock looks like Maven. They had a side by side. They're all kinds of screwed up.
Yeah.
Bret Hart has some kind of afro thing because like the polygons aren't in place because they're rushing the damn thing out every year because they want to be like Madden, where it's like a new one every year.
I gotcha.
And you're selling very much the same exact game with the same exact roster, like Madden, except Madden is real football.
Right, and that's where they make their money is because guys, I always said if they were smart, they would do it like UFC's video games where they put it out every couple of years. Yeah. But the problem is with the WWE games, when guys are getting paid, they're getting paid through the release of those games. So now if you put out a game and you say this is sitting out for 2 years, but we fired this guy 6 months after the game came out.
Right.
Why am I still going to keep paying him for his appearance on the game if he's not even with the company anymore? So now if I re-release one, it negates the contract of the last game.
Interesting.
And all the new contracts for that game are now in place. I mean, it's crazy.
They're driving around with tour buses that got Moxley on the side of them, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's likeness is...
Dean Ambrose bigger than...
He's making money off of his likeness with them for sure.
You got it?
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
All right.
Is that everything?
Recently, Randy Orton tweeted out a challenge to John Cena for WrestleMania. So it's going to be Randy Orton versus John Cena, 12,000 roughly. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. John Cena recently responded saying that he didn't say yes or no, but he basically said he's never missed a WrestleMania since WrestleMania 19. So it's kind of like thrown up in the air at this point.
Oh, that's cool. What do you think of that?
I mean, love John Cena to death.
Right.
Respect to the guy, but if you're gonna be an actor, go be an actor. You know, like to pop back in and do a dream match from 5-10 years back against Randy Orton. I really don't care. It's not something that's going to make me sit on the edge of my seats. Now, if you're going to do something to make the world go, oh, okay, I'll watch that, go up against somebody that you haven't seen yet. Go up against a talent that's coming out of...
Like Tyson Fury?
Yeah, like an NXT
I see, okay.
coming up that everybody's like either getting behind or saying, man, that guy's the next great. Adam Cole, maybe. You know,
Yeah, I mean, John Cena got beat by a slew of those guys, though, about 5 years ago.
Yeah,
he put
did.
over Kevin Steen like a champion. He put over Finn Balor like a stallion. And I'm like, why is the fat guy and the skinny twink beating up the Olympic weightlifter?
Yeah.
And then I'm watching the ratings go like this.
Skinny twink? What is...
Yeah, look at
What
him.
a dark world you
Look
live
at him,
in.
Finn Balor.
Jeez.
But I mean, can you really tell me though that you're
knew what it
interested in
was.
seeing John Cena versus Randy Orton for the umpteenth
Not
time?
really. No, I don't want
That's
to
what
see
I'm
that.
saying.
No.
You know, like
It's like the Hulk Hogan Ric Flair thing. It got old.
I mean,
it was a
you
dream matchup, and then when it happened, it was like, it won't
why'd you
stop.
do this?
It's a dream that wouldn't end.
right,
Yeah.
it became a nightmare.
All right. What else? Is that...
I got one more story for you.
Okay.
So Renee Young, recently, you might have heard of her. She's John Moxley's wife.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, she was tweeting out during John Moxley's unsanctioned match against Kenny Omega at AEW Full Gear. She was saying things like, WTF, I really don't like this. And when you looked at the drama of the match, it was a hard-hitting match. Like, at one point, John Moxley dragged himself through glass while he was in the sharpshooter. It was something else. So... that's just a little fun story.
Oh, okay.
So it's clear that she cares about her husband, and she should. They're married.
She does, and that's the biggest thing, and why a lot of wrestlers get with other wrestlers and not like ringside announcers and stuff like that. It's because as a wrestler, you understand it's a part of the business. This is what this person is doing, whether you support it or not. You kind of just go along with it. For her to openly go against it on Twitter and stuff, it's like, what's the point of that? What are you doing? Because now he's going to sit there and get ridiculed by the fans of your own wife doesn't even support what you do, bro. You know, and I'm sure he's going to be like, man, whatever, I don't care. It is what it is. But at the same time, after you get that so many times, you're going to go back to her and say, hey, next time can you not do that? Because I'm really tired of those questions.
Slap her.
Interesting. Interesting.
Rumor also has that she wants to go to AEW because they took her commentating gig away.
And she did. That's the thing is she once she was an announcer and then got pulled off the table, but she's doing like the pre-show
right.
stupid stuff on
The
the
hype
network. Yeah, the hype shows and stuff like that. Once she started doing that, she voiced her lack of desire to do that, and she wanted to be involved more. But it's not going to help you by backing the people that are doing that to you by saying what your husband's doing on this new show is too far. You know, like it doesn't make any sense.
I get you.
If she keeps opening her mouth, she's gonna wind up with Titus O'Neil or something. I'm surprised that hasn't happened already.
All right.
With the
Also,
next black
All
guy.
we
the way-
have for today.
She knew who John Moxley was when they met, right? Like,
Right.
she's known him
He's
for more
been
than
a
a couple of
psychopath,
months,
yeah.
right? Is this like her first time ever seeing him do what he do in real life?
Well, I mean,
Like,
probably
he's-
since he's been away from WWE. Because that's the thing is, I think
So they
that
didn't
she-
do that kind of matches in
No,
WWE.
that's the biggest difference is the guy that she was with in WWE is not the same guy. That
Exactly.
It's like they totally only met there, right? She never saw
Probably.
CZW John Moxley because that's what he does. This is his life.
That's how it was. Yeah.
You ever
Oh,
seen the Rocky where Adrian's like, "You can't win"?
It's Rocky IV, yes.
Rocky's like, "Well, if Adrian says again, I guess again."
So I want to thank you, Jack Bruce Davidson. Wish you a happy 21st birthday, and we'll see you next week with our national update, international update.
Thank you.
First, take care.
Oh, I miss him.
You already?
Yeah,
You
I'm
can
trying to-
scoot back over there. Thanks.
When I was 21, I was a grown man, John. I owned
Yes.
my own plantation. We had horses.
What
It
else
was
did you have on
beautiful.
that?
Ladies and
What
gentlemen.
did you have on that plantation?
Nothing of importance. No worries.
Ladies, okay, all right.
I
Ladies-
create job opportunities.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not heard by now, November 30th at American Legion Post 555 here in Midway City, we have the first ever title unification match between GCF champion Chris Cadillac, or just Cadillac as it were, and everybody's friend Vintage Dragon, the OCCW heavyweight champion. And we're going to take you now to the contract signing last week. So, Robert, if you could bring that up for us. Hello and welcome to the official contract signing of the title unification match
Nation of
between OCCW heavyweight champion Vintage Dragon and GCF heavyweight champion Cadillac. Here to validate the contract are officials Joseph Saint and RJ Wallace of Gold Coast Federation. They're going to sign right there, gentlemen.
Take the cap off.
And now RJ Wallace will sign. Thank you, thank you. And now, Mr. Cadillac, you have a pen.
You really want this? You really want this?
In more ways than one.
Sign
Take it
I
for
don't know
whatever
if
you
you're
want.
I don't know if you're coming on to me or.
Just sign the contract.
Oh, is my shit up?
You have your pen?
I don't know if he could read.
Okay, all right. Just the first and last name. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. The match between Vintage Dragon, champion of OCCW, and Cadillac, champion of Gold Coast Federation, will take place November 30th at American Legion Post 555 in Midway City. The doors will open at 5:30. Bell time will be at 6 p.m. for the unified Orange County Heavyweight Wrestling Championship. I'd like to take this moment to get comments from first, Mr. Cadillac.
I don't really know what you expect me to say, except for I beat you for this belt right here that I hold in front of me. And I'm going to beat you for that one. And I will be the only champion Orange County has. I will be the only champion Orange County can be proud of. There's going to be no running. There's going to be no loopholes. There's going to be no legal action. There's just going to be fist to head, knee to head, foot to head, whatever you want, man. I'll serve it up any way you want it. Just understand, there's gonna be no crying after this, and there'll be one man walking away, and you're looking at him. That's the dad bod God. Remember that.
Vintage.
First and foremost, let me tell you something. This man right here to my right, John, has thrown everything he possibly could at me. He's thrown Damon Devine, Kusten Uberstedt, Funny Bone, Dan Joseph, and the list goes on and on and on of guys that haven't been able to take this from me. This night, you and I aren't going to be wrestling 2 matches. I'm going to be fresh as a daisy, and I'm going to end you faster than I ended Danny Limelight's career when his title reign ended in 52 seconds. Yours? 30 seconds, and you can bank on that.
You can talk about ending fast all you want. I don't want to hear about your love life. I want to hear about what we're going to do and when we're going to wrestle and what's going to happen. You can talk tough. We both know. I beat you. Your record against me is like the Niners right now. Or, I'm sorry, my record against you is like the Niners right now.
You fucked it up.
I'm undefeated against you, Vintage. That's a lot for you to be scared of. And if you're smart, which you're not, you would be.
You're one of the best, and I'll give you that. I've never taken anything from you, and I never will.
That damn right.
You are one of
damn right.
the greatest. That title will come back around my waist. I am no stranger to holding that silver right there. I'm gonna get it back from you. But understand this. You want smash mouth style? Drag out fights? Knuckles, teeth, claws, scratch, and crawl? That's exactly what's gonna happen. I was the only champion of Orange County once, and it's gonna happen again. Make no mistake about that. And John, this, you need to get used to seeing it around my waist, because it's never gonna go anywhere. I'll see you gentlemen later, and I'll see you at Black Saturday.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. November 30th, Vintage Dragon, the OCCW Heavyweight Champion. Cadillac, the Gold Coast Federation Heavyweight Champion. Do not miss it. That is November 30th at American Legion Post 555. Doors open at 5:30. Show starts at 6 p.m. Tickets are $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. I want to thank Joseph Saint and RJ Wallace for their participation in said match and their validation, if you will. We'll see you all on November 30th.
Kind of remind me of the band All For One in the back. I swear.
All right, Robert, can you put that graphic up for Black Saturday? All right, there you have it. There's a contract signing. This may be the first contract signing I've ever been to or actually ever saw where no one, got into each other's face and started fighting.
You had a referee at this.
Yes, we did. We were ready. There you go.
LD Luther was there to lay down the law. Laying down the law, Luther.
That was Beetlejuice.
All right. Will you stop with that Beetlejuice nonsense?
I'm sorry.
Gee whiz. Ladies and gentlemen, Orange County Championship Wrestling presents Black Saturday, November 30th, 2019, at American Legion Post 555 in Midway City. That is midway between Garden Grove and Westminster. For those of you who have no idea where Midway City is, believe me, most people in Orange County don't know that Midway City is a city in Orange County. Tickets are $15 at the door, or $15 pre-sale, $20 at the door. You can reach me for tickets. If you buy enough of them, I'll even run them out to you. In addition to what you just saw at the contract signing, we have Gusten Uberstud looking for revenge against Mikey O'Shea. That's right. We got a grudge match there. A little bit of fallout from the Halloween purging. We have La Raza challenging the tag team champions Thunder and Lightning. Would you care to comment?
I mean, I told you last week, and I'm sure my partner now this week is going to reiterate that the ass whooping that we put on them the last time is going to pale in comparison to what we're going to do to them on Black Saturday.
We beat them before, and we'll beat them again. I'm fixing to put a whipping on both of them. Flores got a strong jaw, and Vega got an even stronger back, and I'm looking to break both on Saturday.
All right. In addition, can we get back on the air? There we are.
Jamal's son. Don't lie to me now. I mean,
you know what?
Striking resemblance.
You'd have to talk to them about that. My lips are sealed.
Everything with Luther is okay.
You know what? No, if I had said that,
Yeah, you messed up the thing.
stop picking on Luther. You know what? You're gonna hurt his feelings. He's a nice kid.
Luther's my favorite referee. I want him to referee. Put him as the referee for our match. I got something shiny in my pocket for you.
Didn't he star in the Orange Is New Black? Wasn't he in that character too?
I didn't see it. Who is he? All right. I don't know what that means. I don't watch a lot of TV. We also have Freddie Havoc defending his American Legion Post title against the one and only Mr. Wrestling, Joey Barone. You're not going to want to miss that. If you've seen Joey Barone in the ring, or if you haven't seen him in the ring, you're in for a real surprise. That guy moves around the ring like it's nobody's business, like a pinball in a pinball machine. And of course, Freddie Havoc, always tough as nails.
Okay.
Luther does not look like that. You know what, Luther? Look, I want you to come on the show, Luther, and we'll see if these clowns talk like that while you're here. All right? I want to publicly apologize to Luther for this inanity.
Hey, I did not say nothing.
Stupid. Take it off.
That's him. That's Luther.
Get rid of it. Get rid of it. I don't want to see that anymore.
That's
Thank
his
you.
Facebook profile picture.
No, and no.
Hey, give Luther some cake. You might see him.
All right. That said, let's talk a little bit about Gustin and Mikey. Who do you like in that match?
Goostin Ubers. You know what? Mikey O'Shea is a traitorous coward.
Right.
Never in my life would I. He just laid down. Yes, sir, boss, Mr. Venice Dragon. Let me shine your boots real good here now. And I never would have expected that from O'Shea.
Right.
I mean, for
Luther,
real. At the end of the day, of course, we all gonna root for our Gustin
people
on this one.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, because if anybody sits there and says, "Oh, I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring for Mikey," you better be standing on that side of the ring with Mikey. Because if you rooting for him, you don't roll with us.
That's right. You are, yeah. You friends with him, you're not friends with me. And I'm not one of those guys that you're either with us or against us mentality. I don't believe in that.
Right.
But Mikey O'Shea, we did everything for that guy, right? We looked out for him, and then to get a knife in the back, I was not amped up about that at all. All right. So
I don't think anybody was amped up.
I'm always amped up.
Yeah, you are.
Hey.
That said, okay. Now here's the interesting matchup: Freddie Havoc versus Joey Barone. Now Joey Barone is relatively new here at OCCW. Only wrestled for us a couple of times, but he seems to have a really strong following, a really strong base, and a hell of a lot of aerial maneuvers.
Yeah, I mean the kid is something else. I gotta admit the first time I saw him was in the ring against my tag partner, and when I saw him get in the ring, I said, "Oh, easy work."
Right.
This kid gonna be a lightweight mill, and he got in there and tore things up. I mean, my partner wasn't too happy with the end result. I know that. Hell
of a match, and he shocked me. And he took the match on one day's notice. 10 people show up buying tickets to see him. So definitely in my cool book there, Joey Barone. Good luck. Freddie Havoc is one of them raw-boned, knuckles in the dirt, grind them out type of competitors. Yeah. So you have two really contrasting styles, would you say?
And that's the biggest thing, though, too, is you can't discount what Havoc can do in there, though. Like, because he might punch you in the mouth, but then all of a sudden he might jump off the top rope and surprise the hell out of everybody.
Yeah.
So that both of them are bringing something to the table, and it's going to be a contrast of styles, but at the same time, Havoc might show that he can keep up and run the table with them.
Yeah. Okay, that ought to be interesting. Your opinion?
I think Joey Barone will slay him brutally, crush him like the Americans crushing the Indians, bring swift death to Freddie Havoc here on Saturday, Black Friday, the day after I celebrate my victory over the Indians with a Thanksgiving feast.
Well, there are some that do believe that.
Flawless victory.
that flawless victory. I wouldn't say flawless, but there are some that say that Thanksgiving was a celebration of a massacre of the Indians.
Yeah, you seen Rudy lately? I haven't.
No, I haven't seen Rudy lately.
Sub-Zero
Hey, let me ask
wins.
This is the last time 10 Bears showed up.
Yeah, where's 10 Bears been at?
You know, actually, 10 Bears was watching the show. So if you're out there,
My apologies, 10 Bears.
give a holler to 3.5 Badgers and tell them to come by the show.
10 Bears, if you're watching right now, let me know. Do you celebrate Thanksgiving? I mean, because I don't know if I would if I was.
Well, I don't know. Do you celebrate?
February? Black History Month?
I don't think there's anything.
There's nothing.
No, okay.
We were forced to celebrate everything.
No, yeah. St. Patrick's Day. You celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Well, it's an excuse for everyone to go out and get drunk.
Kwanzaa, Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah, you know.
No, but that's not the same thing
Black
as
Friday.
as 10 Bears celebrate
President's
Thanksgiving.
Day.
It's
Popeye's chicken.
You guys don't know shit.
Abraham Lincoln's birthday is a special one for me.
All right, Luis Tapia is saying he's entitled to a rematch, and you are right, Luis Tapia. You are entitled to a rematch, but if I'm not mistaken, you were injured after your match with Havoc, and so you were unable to wrestle this next
I mean,
show.
if you really want to get in there less than 100%, that wouldn't be the smartest thing. But if you really feel like you want to do that, I mean, I've seen guys do stupider things before.
I do a lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me
I
for?
just was
I
wondering.
fought a lot of big giant people and groups of people, and
I would see this event as your time to rest, regroup, relax, and get ready for. I mean, maybe if he's up to it, to step in the ring at cage match. I mean,
Yeah,
if you really looking for a rematch for a title, what better way to do it than to secure both individuals in a cage?
Fair.
But you are not 100% now. I wouldn't throw my hat in that ring. I've been there, getting in the ring less than 100%, thinking that I'm going to
I've done
run
that
shot
too.
on somebody. It is not a good idea.
Yeah, right. And you know what? And I'm sure he will be cage or ringside at this next show. So if he's unable to wrestle, I'm sure he'll be scouting the match and maybe looking for openings and whatnot. To see who his next opponent is, all right. And I'll tell you what, Luis. Yeah, I'll give you a rematch if Havoc wins. If he doesn't, well, then that's going to be subject to negotiation. Joe, you want to read off who's watching?
Yeah, of course we have everybody like Luis Tapia, Brian Chastity.
Hey, Brian, one of our number one fans. This is like a 4-way tie for the number one fan.
We got was it Charlotte Infante? Is that
Oh, CJ, how you doing, CJ? Much love.
10 Bears, Jamal, Joey, Barone.
better watch it all that.
Luther, you watching? Look, Luther, I don't know why these guys are saying this shit about you.
I
all right?
love Luther.
You guys are they're not friends. They're not your friends,
Luther's
Luther.
my friend.
If they
Luther, we're your friend. Don't listen to this old codger. You know what, Luther? Me and you, buddy. I'll get you hookers. Don't even
what?
worry about
No,
it.
he has a girl.
Well, even so.
And she's really sweet. You know? Even so, oh my goodness.
Low key.
We also have Mindy Hinojosa.
Love you, girl.
And we got, she just popped up. Rachel. She's watching.
Hi, Rachel. What? Hey, nothing.
Listen, mister.
Hey.
I don't need. I get enough of that from him. I don't need any of that from
Hey.
you.
Hey,
You understand?
Joker,
Hey! All right, you know what? That's it. You're both fired. You're both fired. You disgust me. You disgust me. Oh my God. You better hope your girl never calls in. Or watch. Yeah. And tell her to stop calling me. All right.
But I want to say I'm very,
She's just calling you for the
I'm
money.
very flexible. I want to do one of her classes. I mean, I'm pretty bendable. You know, I'm like Gumby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like you ate Gumby. All right, so
I was like, they added a lot of Play-Doh to that company.
Gotta see your toes to touch your toes.
Trying to lose weight.
all right.
You're looking good.
Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you watching, Brian, David, Luis,
Lufa.
Rachel, Luther, I want you guys to send in a topic that we can get. The second portion of my list here has disappeared. So I have lost the topics that I had covered. So go ahead and send those in.
One topic I like to bring in.
Sure. Okay, wait. Hold on. I'll let you do that. We are now at the portion of our show known as Topics, where I pose topic questions to this distinguished panel as well as Joey the Bull. They have 1 minute to comment on said topic, and we move on. Should be an exciting night of topics as there's so much going on. Let me let you talk for a minute, okay? We were talking earlier. Did I already say this on the air about there being 36 hours of wrestling?
Yeah, we just opened with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a valid, a valid subject. The fact that I think right now we are in a time that we've never been in before. So that's a lot of wrestling that people can key into. Now the argument is what quality.
Billy Graham,
but
Superstar Graham. This was that's last week.
That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
That's what I wanted.
Go ahead.
Okay, one of the topics I wanted to bring up from last week, because I know our show was just crazy last week with a great Othello showing up and all that. But one of the topics I wanted to bring up was Billy Graham believing that all male wrestlers should look as big as Brock Lesnar, not like a small little, what he said, a woman.
Okay. Who wants to take? I'll take that. I'll take that.
All champions.
All right, I'll let you go first. Because I want to comment on that too. All right, are you ready? We got the timer. 1 minute and go.
I agree with Superstar Billy Graham. I want to see some freaks wrestle. You know what I mean? I think steroids should be mandatory and given out for free.
Hold on.
Remember when the
Robert,
80s
can you
was
start
awesome?
the timer?
It's not working.
I got him. Who cares? I can do this all night. Remember when the 80s was awesome? It wasn't just because of the cocaine. It was because of the steroids. It wasn't just because of the optimism. It was because of the giant muscles. It was because of the American gladiators like Nitro and Glacier and these big-ass dudes with the crew cut looking like they could rip the alien in half. Now they want to be friends with the alien and whatnot. What kind of nonsense is this? And he didn't say they ought to be as big as Brock Lesnar. You just can't be like some kind of, he, twink thing that you could probably beat up. Like AEW. A lot of them are very small, by the way. I don't want to watch a show and think that I could kick the guy's ass. It should be the other way around. I want to watch a show. Rick Rude could come to your house, kick in the door, slap you across the face, do it to your wife, and make a sandwich with your food, and there wouldn't be nothing you could do about it except thank him for the opportunity. So you know what, Superstar Billy Graham? He's the inventor of Scott Steiner. He's probably Scott Steiner's dad or something. They got the same mustache and physique or whatever. And nobody cared about Scott Steiner until he was a big bad booty daddy. You know what I mean? He had peaks on top of peaks and freaks on top of freaks.
All right, time. Very good.
I don't want to cut into your time. Here's a special report from our...
Hold on, I got it. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So, according to Bleacher Report, CM Punk returns to WWE programming on Backstage, and he will be featured on the show after nearly 6 years away from the company. His hiatus will come to an end on Tuesday, programming on WWE Backstage.
Twitch, my response is... Okay, so...
What about the steroids thing? Don't just skip over
My
Billy
response
Graham.
to that, though, is you got tired of getting your ass kicked in the octagon.
Right? It's like, hey, great. I'm about as excited as I would be if Dana White came out and said, hey, CM Punk is coming back to the UFC. I'd be like...
He's going to be on the commentary table.
Oh, jeez.
Now, what do you think about the Billy Graham?
Let's see. Where do
And
I
go.
mean,
Timer.
you're a big fella yourself.
I mean...
Robert, can you set the timer? Go.
For me, being blessed with a bigger physique, it's one of those things where you just kind of look at it and you go, yeah, it's great to have a big physique. But then when you start to sit there and say stuff like that, you are negating everyone that came before guys like Brock Lesnar or in between the time of Brock Lesnar and Hulk Hogan with greats like Bret the Hitman Hart, Shawn Michaels. Ric Flair was not a physique guy. I mean, you're literally now saying that all these guys, Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, all those guys aren't good enough because they're not muscle heads.
They were all muscle
All
heads.
those dudes were jacked as shit, my man.
They were
I'm
big,
glad
they
that
were,
Steamboat ain't shit to
They
you,
were
but he was
bigger,
like
but they were
240
not.
pounds.
They were bigger, but they were not the to the extent of
Okay.
a Billy Graham
All right.
and Brock Lesnar. You know, like they were physique guys. To us, yeah, because the average human being looks like Kevin Steen, you know, and then you now look at it and you go, oh, they shouldn't look like that. They should look like Hulk Hogan. They should look like Brock Lesnar. I don't agree with that.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Let me comment on this. All right, because I that's an excellent point too. But Everyone from all those guys that you just mentioned, they were all incredibly look at Ricky Steamboat. The man,
Like if Bruce Lee was a grown-sized man.
exactly. It's like if he looks like he ate 2 Bruce Lees, doesn't he? All right.
So they're saying Ric Flair was once over 300 pounds at one time.
Ric Flair was a body person.
huge.
Remember, all those persons you named were all bigger than superstar Billy Graham. Weight-wise, size-wise, height-wise. I promise you, they were all bigger than him. Now, what his point is, when he was on top of the world, he was even smaller than Bruno Sammartino. But his body and his size, when people, can you put the timer on for me? When people see a professional wrestler, they want to look at someone and say, "Wow," right? As a promoter,
Right.
that's what I want my people to say. I want them to look at my guys and say, "Wow, those guys are huge. These guys are professional wrestlers," whatever,
Huge.
right? What I don't want them to say, which I've heard them say, "Man, I could kick that guy's ass."
They better not be saying that about me. I will mess you up.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care how much jujitsu you go
Hey.
to, little kid. I will beat the living shit out of you.
Like Lucy?
Yeah, no, if what's his name? Crusher and the Kool-Aid Kid, I will throw a lamp. Daddy is drunk and angry.
Okay.
You know,
So,
to me,
so
this
in
guy-
one respect, he actually makes an excellent point. We do not want to see little boys wrestling in the ring.
Right.
You, as a promoter, you want people, when they go there live, to look at these guys and go, "Oh my God, those guys are huge." What you don't want is to go there to those shows and look at them and say, "Those guys are tiny. They were a lot bigger on TV." And I think that's probably the point he was trying to make. So, in that respect, I agree with superstar Billy Graham, and you guys better get your asses in shape.
That means steroids, guys. Steroids.
No, that does not mean steroids. That does not mean steroids.
Just ask Joey the Bull. I got him
No,
for you.
no, and no. All right. Our next topic is a fun topic.
He
What?
shot himself.
I'm getting ready for the
Why are there
reversal.
gerbils
Hold on.
running across here?
No, man, not
All
that
right.
kind of injection.
Yeah. Our next topic, right? It can be controversial in and of itself. Who's that?
Ric Flair.
That's not Ric Flair.
No, that is totally him.
What?
That's him before the plane crash.
That's what he looked like?
Yeah, he looked more like Dusty. Like they wanted to pair him with Dusty initially. He's,
Oh,
Yeah, he's a beefy boy.
yeah, he's a big guy.
and then he broke his back.
Yeah, he fell out of the sky. Interesting. All right. Our next topic is controversial, and it is controversy, and you'll see what I say when you hear it. Who wants to take the next one first? You? All right. The topic is Jim Cornette. Once again, the topic is Jim Cornette. B.A. Marcus Frey.
Jim Cornette to me is everybody's favorite drunk uncle. Like he's really the guy that comes out and he says whatever the hell is on his mind. He does not give a damn about backlash. He does not care about what anyone else feels or has to say about wrestling. He has a belief that wrestling is supposed to be a specific way, and he is going to voice that opinion from the mountaintops to the damn valleys. And if you don't like it, you can either flip the channel, you can turn off his podcast, you can stop watching whatever the hell it is he's on, because he does not care. And you know what? At first I was like, man, who does this guy think he is that is placing himself so high on a pedestal that his opinion is so important? And then I thought about it and I said, he's saying what everyone else out there believes.
Right.
You know, when you're watching a product and you're going, this is trash. They're super kicking each other 17 goddamn times, and at the end of the day,
And slapping their ass while they
still
do it.
walking around. You know, so I appreciate guys like Jim Cornette.
All right. So, okay, we have a vote for Jim Cornette. Mr. Azrael,
Go.
go.
I love Jim Cornette. I don't think I've ever disagreed with anything Jim Cornette says. Like, he's always right. Everything that he's saying is usually somebody did some stupid ass thing, and they'll be like, well, look, like, they sold out this bar of 300 people. But, like, in Jim Cornette's day, 300 people is not high attendance. He's shooting for, like, thousands of people at the IWA Mid-South Coliseum or whatever it was in 1970 through the 80s when it was perpetuated as something real. And we're like, oh, he's a silly old man. Like, the people don't understand. The kid want to wrestle with the hands in the pockets or whatever. But you look retarded. It's stupid. It drives down the attendance overall and the appeal of trying to sell this to people that aren't fans already, that you already have their money. Jim Cornette would like to take more people's money. And everybody's like, oh, he's a crazy old man. I wish he'd adopt me. And his hatred of his hatred of the Republican Party
It's
is
even
beautiful.
better, huh?
And whenever he talks about how stupid everybody from a red state is, it's funny listening to the guy in the southern voice, because it's like he turned on him.
Yeah.
He turned on him. You think he was one of you, but he's not.
Well put, well put. Yeah, I'd like to put my 2 cents in on Jim Cornette, all right? Can you give me another minute there, Robert?
Robert, so you're making me work too much.
Yeah. Yep. Jim Cornette, from the first time I turned on TBS in the mid 80s to my drive to work this morning, I have listened to Jim Cornette. I have heard Jim Cornette, but never in my life have I ever agreed with Jim Cornette until now. All right, he's absolutely right. I mean, I have the same problem. You know, I don't like the fact that if he knew who I was, he would be calling what I do an outlaw mud show. I'm sure we'd have a problem with, but we'd have a problem with that. But he's right in one respect, in several respects. The first of which, wrestling should be up here. All right, no, everybody shouldn't get a chance to play. Right? No, everybody shouldn't just come as you are. Right? Yeah, people should be able to believe it. And yeah, you should have some rules. And there isn't any, especially in AEW. I can see why he hates it so much. I mean, I don't hate it. I enjoy it, but I can see why he hates it so much. And when people say, oh, he hates the business, he hates the business because he loves the business so much, just like me. And so, Jim Cornette, I know you're not watching, and I know a real good friend of mine has issues with you. You guys are going back and forth on Twitter. I respect you both, but you know what? Keep voicing it for the rest of us. For those of us who want to see wrestling. Hey, I've never seen him look more happy than I have on the set of NWA Power. Yeah. You know, he just looks like he's been redeemed.
He's finally doing something that he loves, not something that he just signed up for or was getting paid to do. He's finally doing something that he loves, and he's the voice of the voiceless when it comes to wrestling issues right now. And I respect him. I respect what he has to say. Some of it is outlandish, and some of it is just like I shake my head sometimes, but I just go, he's got a point.
Yeah, and Jim, if you're watching, or if anyone who knows Jim, or doesn't like Jim, send him this link. Get him to come on. We'll have him on the show. Heck, you know what, Jim? I'll even bring a can of beans for you. What did he used to eat? Campbell's tomato soup or something like that. I'll bring a whole case for you.
You want, sir?
I'll even take you to the local Wendy's. Oh, you'll love it down here. Did I tell you what happened to me at the Subway today?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, so I went into Subway today. This is the guy. Oh, friggin' terrible. I went in. The ladies behind the desk, nice people. They're Indonesian, really nice. At first, I thought they were Hispanic, so I started speaking Spanish to them, and they looked at me like I was crazy. They're like,
racist
they're like,
son of a bitch.
they're like, we're in America. You need to speak English, sir. I'm like, okay, sorry. And so, anyway, they fixed me up my sandwich. I sat down. I worked on the show. Right. Okay. This was about 1:00, 1:15. I'm sitting there. I'm eating my sandwich. Right. There's one other guy, one other paying customer in there. 8 different people came in from the street. Low-life scumbag pieces of crap. Hey, can I get a water glass? They give them a water cup. What do? They go and they put soda and then they take off. Yep. And then oh, hey, I need to use the bathroom. It's for the customers, right? More people were going in there to get something for free than there were paying customers. And I'm thinking to myself, how do these... The next time I go into a place where someone is rude, I'm going to assume that there were 8 other low-life scumbag homeless pieces of shit coming in there. So, and this is right across the street from the dumb shits at the El Pollo Loco I told you about.
That's why. It's all their fault.
And you know what? I tell you what, the dumbasses at El Pollo Loco, just tell those guys to go pound sand whenever they walk in there. But these nice people have to deal with these lowlifes. So, if you are not a lowlife, if you actually have money to spend on your lunch, go to Beach and Ball. Go to the Subway there on the corner of Beach and Ball. Buy a sandwich, buy a soda, kick those lowlifes in the head that are sitting outside asking for your change on the way in, and then going in and asking for a free water cup and then filling it up with soda. You scumbags. You make me sick. God bless America.
Pooey.
All right.
Say it ain't so.
All right. So any topics? Has anyone sent in any topics? Let's see here. Thanks, Joe. You keeping up on that? No?
Wait, did everybody see the...
Everybody's basically saying topics about the biggest wrestlers. We're talking about the Billy Graham thing. People were actually saying that, what's his name, is really nice, Jim Cornette. Some people actually met him a couple of times. He's a great guy to work with. Yeah, pretty much that's it. No topics.
I have a topic.
You got a topic. Okay, Robert.
So did you see Moxley versus Kenny Omega?
I did not see
AEW
it.
match.
I have it on my DVR. I've yet to watch it.
Anybody else?
You saw it.
Did you hate it? Did you like it?
I
saw it's long.
I didn't.
It's long.
hate-
It's
yeah,
40
it
minutes
was a
worth. It was
It
long.
was a long match.
Not to be nasty.
I didn't hate it. It was something that I didn't expect. Like I said, I didn't watch Moxley when he was in CZW. I don't know that whole underground trash wrestling.
Didn't you
style.
watch The Wrestler?
Yeah.
That's all you need to know about CCW right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things where when I saw it, I was like, wow, yeah, they're really pushing the envelope. And then it got to a point where I was like, all right, they've pushed it enough. Like, get to the end already. You know, when you got two guys in there that look like they're hemorrhaging and bleeding out before they can even get a pin, it's like, okay, I get it. You know, I've seen enough of it out here. I get it.
Like, there's bleeding in a match that makes me really, really care about what's going on. Like, Cody Rhodes versus Dustin Rhodes.
Right.
And I was like, oh my, that's his brother.
Yeah.
This is important to me. Oh my God, he's bleeding his last breath. And then there's just bleeding because you were doing funny shit to each other.
Right.
With,
And that's
he
what
wrapping barbed wire around the broom and they started raking his back. I remember Kenny Omega being called the cleaner. So I was like, okay, cool. He's like raking his asshole's back. And then they went to like the trampoline of death spot, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
where they wrap up the thing in the barbed wire and the whatever, and then you take the guy and you superplex him because you're a moron too and you want to eat this bump too.
Right.
So let's all eat it in the barbed wire together.
Because it's just, and here's the thing that people don't understand. This
one of
barbed
you-
wire is for real, like, rip your skin open barbed wire. I've worked with a show that had us prep weapons and stuff with that barbed wire, and it took everything in me to coat the stuff in barbed wire and not cut my hands open. So when I see these spots done on stuff like that, it just makes me go, why? Like, what are you really getting out of this as a wrestler?
Couple of topics. I know we kind of missed these last week, so I'm not sure we want to talk about this.
Okay.
NXT. Is it helping out ratings for WWE? And the other one is AEW is mad at WWE for banning AEW fans at their events.
All right, I want to comment on that, all right? Because there's nothing wrong with that, all right? And I'm going to tell you why. They're not banning them. They're telling them they can't have AEW on their signs. They can't wear AEW shirts in front of the camera, all right? And that's what you call getting out in front of the train. Or, wait, getting out in front of the trouble that's going to be coming. And I'll tell you why. When during the Monday Night Wars, you guys probably aren't old enough or don't remember exactly to look out for these things. I was already in the business at the time, so I knew what to look out for. WCW was, slightly ahead of WWE, in the ratings. What was it? 83 weeks worth of wins, right? So during one match, the main event, I want to say, I'm not sure. Let's say it was Sting versus Ric Flair, all right, for argument's sake. At the finish, boom, there's a finish. Okay, we're watching it, and up pops a sign in front of the camera. It says WWF rules. You don't see the finish. You don't see what happens because someone's holding a WWF rule sign in front of the wrestlers, which goes into the camera. And WCW being a bunch of dipshits, not knowing what. Boom. All right, there you go. Your biggest match, the biggest point of your evening, their biggest rating spike is an advertisement for the competition. All right, and so Vince McMahon, in his wisdom, or maybe someone else, maybe it was Triple H or Stephanie, someone is like, no, we're not going to run that risk. We don't want to give AEW free advertising. It's as simple as that. They're not banning them from every event, just the camera, the televised events.
Now, do you agree with that with the indie wrestling? Like, say if some
No.
fans want to come to see your show with 3PW. Or
Who? No, no, absolutely not. No, I didn't hear what he said.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. No, I don't have. We had one where D6 their whole booking committee or whatever it is.
They all came to see me. Thank you very much.
Yes, they sat in the front row with their D6 shirts on. One of them almost got his ass whooped. All right, but no, I had no problem with them. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I mean,
And I get what you're saying. The signs thing, yeah, get that under control. But if someone comes in with AEW merchandise, like a T-shirt, and instead of saying, "Hey, we will supply you with a WWE shirt instead,"
Okay.
Don't
that's
they usually? Or you just turn
No,
it
but
inside out?
but here's what happens. Now everyone wears their AEW shirts there to get a free WWE shirt.
And this was this was my argument with you last week. It's like if you go to a football event, and if I'm a Steeler fan, I go to a Raider stadium, I'm going to wear my Steeler jersey. Well, they're going to kick me out because I'm representing the Steelers.
Not the same thing. You're representing the NFL. The NFL also has the Raiders. It has the Rams, the shitty ass, Chargers, all that stuff, right? They're part of the same. AEW is direct competition, right? Plain and simple.
So you're saying it'd be like someone showing up to an NFL game with an XFL sign and
No, because the XFL is not competition for the NFL. Is it? I mean, honest, it's not.
That's what they're going for.
No, but it's not. It's not.
Well, and I think that's how they should be treating AEW. When you do stuff like this, you are now letting the public know this company is a threat. But the whole point was they kept coming out saying, "Oh, we're not worried about them. We're not worried about them." But then your actions are speaking louder than your words.
You don't have to worry about your competition to be taking care of them. You don't have to be worried, but you have to be present.
I just feel like if you're banning me from your event because I'm wearing a shirt, I better get a full refund. But I know that much.
Oh yeah, okay.
If I showed up to your show and I was wearing the competition stuff and you said you can't come in wearing that, then the next thing that better happen, if I'm not taking it off, if I tell you I'm not taking my shirt off, this is my right to wear my shirt.
Sure.
But I also better get my money back then because you are not allowing me to enter a show that I paid for.
If you're watching this show on TV and I'm bored enough with whatever's in the ring that I got time to scan the crowd and notice people's shirts, you need to fix what's going on in your wrestling ring, not in your stands.
Well,
you have way more other problems than that.
Certainly, they need to do that anyway, right? It has nothing to do with AEW.
Like, how often do you even see an AEW shirt on camera? You watch the whole show.
I haven't watched it.
Camera, and you never see an AEW shirt on anybody. The story costs them more fans and causes them more trouble. Then there is no free advertising for AEW. They can buy TV spots during Raw, and they should.
I don't think they can because
they used to be able to. Maybe not with their TV deal.
Well,
but it was possible.
Well, no,
TNA could do it.
The WWF used to buy spots on WCW's.
They did. That was hilarious.
Yeah, and it's like the right hand not knowing what the left hand is doing. That's symptomatic.
Now, do we have time for our next topic?
One more topic, and then we got to call it
NXT helping out ratings for WWE?
I don't understand. How are they helping out ratings?
So I get what you're saying with the NXT stars cross-utilizing to and they're not really promoting the other shows. They're promoting the next pay-per-view.
Like they're rating the Raws and the SmackDown.
I think that ultimately what they're doing is they're hurting the NXT brand. Because when you start to take these guys and you're splitting them up to start these feuds with SmackDown and Raw, it's not going to draw people in to watch NXT because they don't really care enough about what that product is right now to say, oh, wow, this person, Shayna Baszler, who if I don't watch NXT, I'm not going to know who the hell that is. And just because she comes out and she says she's a badass and how she's badder than Ronda Rousey and this, that, and the other.
Not true.
Well, we all
I see. I never saw her on WWE, but I know who Shayna Baszler is
because of UFC.
Yeah.
Right, and she got her handled in UFC. But
she is pretty. She's bad, right?
Yeah, she's tough.
They did
she's very good.
No, they did like a live stream, and it was like from the Performance Center. And there's Ronda Rousey, and she's just flipping Shayna Baszler over and like tapping her like at will.
For sure. Yeah,
right. Okay.
They're not. That's not. It's like comparing. No. Okay. That's a college
like
team versus pro team.
Okay. Because I mean, she was just choking her.
She was very good. She was very good, but she wasn't on Ronda's level.
She's a fantastic grappler in her own right, but she's not to the level of Ronda
She looks
Rousey.
like the Goblin King.
but you know, like I said, but for that, like another example, Emporium. You know, if you don't watch NXT UK, you're not gonna know who this group is. So all of a sudden, have them come out on stage and pretend as though they're this big presence. And then they come out and get their asses handed to them in a match against Raw guys. How am I supposed to want to watch NXT UK now? As a fan, if I'm watching that, how am I supposed to say, well, I can't wait to tune into NXT UK to see these guys who got their asses handed to them by these Raw superstars? No, it's not. I don't believe it's helping at all. Okay.
All right, interesting. No, I don't think. I think the NXT, the production is so bad. The production is so bad that no matter how good that match is in the ring, and you know, we go back to Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette made some really good points that I started looking for. He said that if you look at the botches in AEW, that's symptomatic of people who were not that don't have an agent. Who, when you blow something in the ring, when you walk back through that curtain, that agent is in your face. You did not do this, right? What the hell was that? We had this going on, right? They don't have that problem, right? Whereas in NXT, you botch something. They're going to be in your face because you're trying to get to WWE, right? You got someone in your face. Huh?
Like what?
Like what?
Like, give me an example of where somebody screwed up something.
All right, I'll give you a perfect example. The last episode I watched, you had the Lucha Brothers wrestling. Who were they wrestling?
It had to have been
Was it Private Party? All right, so they did a spike pile driver off the top rope. All right, the referee is standing right in front of him, so they're double teaming this guy. They do a spike pile driver off the top rope.
That
right?
hurts. Okay.
All right, good. Now the guy's down.
Okay.
So one guy covers him, the other guy holds his legs up in to cover him. Right in front of the referee. The referee makes a 3 count. 1, 2, 3.
So what? He beat.
No, that's 2 people covering one guy. The referee needs to tell him to get out of the ring.
Yeah, they let that go a lot.
Well, they let it go in every tag team match
mean-
that night. It was just, after a while, you're like, okay, are there any rules to
Well, because
this?
it then begs the question: are all tag matches tornado tag, or are they supposed to be sanctioned?
Or do they even need to be tagged in? And you know, if you watch the match again, you realize that guy wasn't even the legal guy in the ring.
Right.
So there's all kinds of little mistakes that you won't see on NXT. The wrestlers are better disciplined, they're better trained, etc. And so for NXT, while the in-ring product is superior, the production value, it's dark. It looks.
They do want to move out of Full Sail University.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
Yeah, it looks bad. It just doesn't look like something that belongs to the World Wrestling or
It was
Titan
supposed
Sports.
to be a studio show.
Well, then it should have been.
show.
It should be a studio show. Then not.
It had like
And
this little
which is
thing.
why
It's
they
just
should have
bigger
kept
than it
on-
should be.
Yeah, they should have kept it on the network.
It looks disjointed to me.
Right.
It just looks disjointed.
Well, yeah, because you're sitting there and you're promoting it as though it's the same level of Raw and SmackDown.
Right.
But then when you watch it, it's not the same level, and scale wise or in production value wise,
Right.
as Raw and
I think
SmackDown.
that was the point, though. Like, it
And
wasn't
it
supposed
was.
to be the big
But
pyrotechnic.
and
thing.
I think that's why it should have stayed on the network.
Okay.
Because when you're offering it on the network, it's something that you can say, hey, this is for a smaller crowd, but you're going to want to watch this. But then when you put it on national television, how do I believe that someone wants to watch this?
Well, not only that. I mean, when the in-ring product of the B show, was it fair to call it a B show?
Yeah.
Is superior to the in-ring product of the A show,
yeah.
but the production value is inferior. It's like everything winds up looking disjointed.
backwards,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is odd. I mean, it would say if you're going to be on national TV, then maybe move them into some kind of different building.
Or just something that looks more fitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like it just doesn't look. It looks
Like if they put NWA Power on
That's
USA
exactly
Network,
what I was going to say.
right. It would look.
it would look
wrong.
weird.
Yeah.
In front of that number of people,
Exactly.
it's weird. But in
Yeah.
front of like Full Sail University, and we wanted some kind of filler show for like the network or whatever. But now it's like supposed to be like their third thing, and it's by itself better than AEW's whole other brand. That's the part of it that kills me. People are like AEW's a competition for WWE. It's like they're competition for their third-rated show. That's like.
I mean, and also in the flip comparison, I always said the same thing about 205 Live. When they had 205 Live and they started that, and it was only on strictly on the WWE Network, you watch it and it's hard to get into it because 205 Live was always filmed right after a Monday Night Raw.
Oh, the crowd's
So
dead.
the crowd is
leaving,
dead.
Finally,
They're
now
leaving.
we're
Empty,
in
yeah,
there,
It's
and I'm
empty.
like,
And so I'm watching this, and these guys are doing aerial moves that are supposed to amaze and surprise everyone. But nobody gives a damn because no one's there.
No one's surprised.
You
me.
know,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you're going to do that and you're going to keep it on the network, keep it on the network with a smaller crowd, a crowd that's actually going to give a damn about it.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll just about do it for this episode of the Royal Ramble. So for all of you, for producer Robert, for Joey the Bull, for the team of Thunder and Lightning, I'm your host, Jonathan Malice. We want to thank Jack Bruce Davidson. Did I say that right? Yeah. Jack Bruce Davidson for his new spot. And I want to wish you all a good evening, and may all of your bumps take place in the ring.
Sweet nightmares, La Raza.
Say it ain't so, Mikey. Say it ain't so.
that's. God,